Though drawing is a skill that is alluring and can captivate the attention of many people, it is not as difficult as most people think. Through practice and technique, a person can create amazing characters and creature designs with just lines and shapes. My name is Ido Fernandez. I'll be teaching you how to use lines, shapes, and also guidelines in order to create amazing pictures and also creatures, but for this specifically, using the golden ratio of facial proportion in order to create a beautiful face. I'm an artist here at Cerritos College. I've always wanted to draw, and this has been my dream for a while. I remember waking up every single morning, watching my cartoons in order to see and draw whatever I saw. I remember going and saying, how do these people create these amazing people and character designs? And thanks to the golden ratio of facial proportion, and also just practice and technique over the years, I'm able to do it myself. Now, for a short little preview, I'll be talking about the basic structure of the head, using shapes as place markers, and also using shapes as place markers and being able to see where I'm going to put certain aspects of the face, and using guidelines to check whether or not my face is in proportion. Using all these, we'll be using the technique of the golden ratio. First, we'll start with the head. Now, the head is simple. It is made up with two different shapes and has two different lines going through it. You have, for the top of the head, a full circle, and for the side and the bottom of the chin, sides of the face and bottom of the chin, you have a square. Now, we're making sure that the square goes through the actual circle. That will create one of the lines that we actually need. It makes the eye line. Next, we're going to have to split it vertically in half. That helps us keep symmetry and also helps us determine whether the spacing between the nose bridge and the two eyes. Using this makes a great base in order to move on to the next step, which is using shapes as place markers. I use 3 different types of shapes when I draw. I use circles, squares, ovals, and triangles. I already used the square in order to draw the face shape. Now it's time for ovals, more circles, and triangles. I use circles first. I use them in order to determine the eye placement by using the eye line in order to make them both symmetrical. Using another circle in order to do the tip of the nose gives me a place marker of where I actually am going to put the nose. Next, I'll be using triangles. Triangles are very simple. I use 2 triangles in order to determine where I'm going to put the nostrils, and a big upside down triangle in order to determine the surface of the forehead. I use this in order to make sure that I know where I'm going to put my hairline, along with in order to determine where I'm going to put light and shading afterwards. Next is ovals. Ovals is very simple. I use them for the top of the cheeks, the cupid's bow, and use a big oval to determine the mouth creases that that all people have. Finally, I'm going to use guidelines. Guidelines are simple. It's in order to check and also make sure facial proportions are correct. Using guidelines is very simple. I make sure that the ends of the nostrils, line up with the tear ducts of my eyes, along with the outer corners of my mouth line up with the pupils if I'm going to be drawing them. I make sure to draw lines where the top of the eyes are in order to make sure that both of them are symmetrical and the same size. I do the same thing for the bottom and go through the eye in order to make sure that the pupil line is correct. The ends of the eyes are actually marked where the top of the cheekbones are, along with the midpoint of where your chin and your jaw connect. I use that in order to make sure that symmetry is great and also accurate. You want to try to make this as symmetrical as possible, but note, not everything is perfect. Nor anyone. If it is a little off and asymmetrical, it is actually better that way because not everyone has a symmetrical face. Now, finally, we have the basic guidelines and the golden ratio for the face. Using this actually helps me in drawing any kind of person or any kind of race and gender. It can be used for people who identify as masculine or feminine or round or square faces. That's how you use it, and that's how we've used it. So, in order to use the golden ratio of facial proportions, it is simple. Start out with blocking the head, using circles and squares, and making sure your eye line and also your symmetry is correct. Then, use shapes as placeholders, making sure that they are symmetrical and also they line up with the rest of the face. Finally, use guidelines in order to check your work and make sure that both sides are as symmetrical as possible. Using the Goji ratio proportion is really easy, and also it's very fun to learn how to draw. I hope you all can learn how to, hope you all take this information so that you are able to draw as many characters and also as many people as you'd like. Create, design, and also let your creative side out. It's really fun and really great. Someday, I hope that I actually do get better at art and also create many different things. Along with, you can now use your time for art to procrastinate and also ignore all your other responsibilities, like homework that's overdue, or also basic necessities like feeding yourself. I hope you have a great day, and also use this information in order to better your art and also show a little bit more creativity. Thanks to this, I was actually able to finish this piece. I hope you all have a great day, and have a great one. Bye-bye!